Kia ora tātou, ko Nick Tupara tōku ingoa. My name is Nick and I was born and bred here in the Tairāwhiti and have a community and iwi connection from Pōtaka all the way down to Te Wairoa, and have spent much of my time enjoying and loving the life on the coast. Initially I've run before, and I did that because I was really frustrated about the with regard to the number of suicides that were happening. I actually ran for the health board and was tapped on the shoulder to also run for council. And I've decided to do that again, particularly now that we have our Māori wards. I think it's a time for incredible transformation of the political scene in Aotearoa, and I think it creates an incredible opportunity for the Tairawhiti to lead the country in the way that we deliver our political leadership. And at the moment I'm enjoying being part of that offering, and decided that, yep, here I am again, second time round. I think I'd have to go back to when we commemorated the James Cook 250th anniversary. I think we created a background for our community to come together, and we don't do that enough. That was 2019, and we haven't done it since. I think we should do it every year, and I think if I could change something is exploring the coming togethers more than we have in the past. We can deal with roading and water and this and that, and but having our focus should be on how we can come together as a community. And I think that's going to be important going forward politically as well. Oh my gosh, we've so got to do that. We're destroying the planet. And I can't believe we're going to leave a legacy of abuse of this place to our grandchildren. And we need to allow them to participate in what their future looks like. I'm heartened that we have some younger ones, you know, young parents coming through as nominees, but I don't think it's enough. I would support having positions, possibly not at the decision-making end, but certainly as an advisory for youth. We have Māori liaison officers at council. We have engineering project management advisors for council. We need to have rangatahi advisors at that same level, seriously at that same level, and not just coming in just for a little bit of a project or here and there, but seriously coming in and making recommendations directly to council. Yes, we can. We're responsible for the infrastructure and for the consenting project that builds these homes. We need to figure out how we can do that better, how we can accelerate and be a far more, have a far stronger active presence in growing those homes. Iwi are doing it. We're expecting to get, they're building a complex out at, by the airport there at the moment. They're hoping to get 100, 150 homes out of there. What can council do to support that? We should go to them rather than them come to us. And I think as an authority, we tend to sit back. We have to be more proactive. And part of that is a sense that community needs to be combining together. We should be having council meetings at that building site and looking and being with the folk that are actually on the ground there. How can we put our best foot forward together? Rather than waiting for them to come and fill out the forms and apply, we should be applying the other way around. Absolutely. You can't ask a nominee who's an artist about that. Every project we do should have an arts component. We should be asking the questions, how are you visually enhancing the environment of the Tairawhiti with art? Do you have open space in your development? What in that open space can accommodate an artistic expression? And you've got to look at what we did with the redevelopment of Kaiti, the Cook Landing site, in a way that that space, that narrative becomes a platform for our community to gather and share our stories, and grow stronger. And I think that's an example where public art can belong to the public, and we can gather around that. And we can share our stories, share our common spaces, but also opportunities to understand our differences. Not necessarily agree with them all, but a safe place to share and better understand each other. Absolutely, art everywhere, up and down the street, and also not ignoring as you move out of the city and head up the coast. On the right-hand side, heading up the coast, is the ocean, hard to beat. But what's on the other side? And we should decorate with pride our region for ourselves in the first instance, and also for those that choose to come and visit us. Well, as I've said before, there's too many doors between the Fitzherbert Street and the Chambers. And we've put those there, and we need to take a few of those out. Not so much that the community, we have an open door policy where the community can come in, but council has to get out of that building. I think the council chambers should be like a whare wānanga with no walls. And we should be easily able to walk completely outside. I'd love to have a council meeting at Midway Beach. You know, I'd like to be able to sit in a place where there's at the Olympic pools and having kids run around as we're trying to conduct our business. If we think community, we begin to figure out how can we deliver community. But we can't lock ourselves away in the chambers because we have business to do. Our business is our community. And in any business, they're our customers. And we need to have a shop front that is exposed to them and allows them free movement back. Wow, I don't think it exists. I don't think we've ever supported it. I think it's been hidden away. I went to the Buddhist temple just over Whakapapa way. I couldn't believe how beautiful this charming, colourful, bright, vibrant temple was. Who knew it was there? No, we've completely ignored our Multicultural Society. That's just simply got to stop. You know, we're way past that now. Again, having a council chambers without walls allows us to actually see the colour, the sound, and hear the voices of all of our community. And we're simply deciding that that's not a priority, when in fact it should be the top of the agenda. At every single meeting, we should ask ourselves, what are we doing for the whole of our community today? What's the one thing we're going to do today? And for me, let's just take the walls down of chambers and let everybody flood in. But and it's the same not only with our multicultural, those of different gender, those of different sexual preference, those of who are undertaking the hidden narratives of our community, those that have different beliefs, hide those beliefs, you know, and when you start to hide things, you start to get suicide, you start to get violence, you start to get abuse, and because it's hidden, you start to think, I don't need to know about that. I know it happens in my city, just don't tell me. I can hear the whispers, but just don't tell me about it. And we're over that. Gisborne, the Tairawhiti, we're way past that kind of stuff. We need to know why people aren't in homes. We need to know that people are committing suicide at high school in our city. We need to know that there is a cultural celebration of the Buddhists. We need to know that we have a part to play in that, and go and play in that. Go and be joyful with them. And when you come in with that passion, then you can put your arms around your community and say, okay, let's care for those others as well. We've got to give it back to the people. We've got to see how they can reduce the rates, or how we can put that back into the community. That's if the government decides to give us anything for those assets, and that hasn't been decided either. But if in the event that there is a financial return as a result of Three Waters. That return belongs to the people. And there are many mechanisms we can utilise to give that back, but we need to account for what we receive and account for exactly every cent as it passes through the organisation. And it needs to pass through the organisation, in my view. And we need to continue to benefit from the handing over of those assets. So the assets themselves become a legacy position that had created an ability to invest back. And yeah, let's do some of that connecting with the community, with what are the probable outcomes for the exchange of asset to the government. Well, I've always been pushing that we all need to participate in our politics. So you need to check that your details are correct so that you can receive voting papers and vote. Get the votes in. Because your vote this time around is, and particularly for me, includes 5 Māori wards. That is going to change the politics of this country. You get to participate in some history here. You get to say to the world that Indigenous people have a political right to be politically active in our society. And that's a massive step. Aotearoa New Zealand is leading the world in the way we can bring communities together. It's not a scary space. We've done it before. We decided Poverty Bay wasn't our name. We changed it to Tūranganui-a-Kiwa. We decided that the James Cook Landing Site Heritage Reserve also had a bigger history going back to Kaiti, and we changed the name. Nobody died over it. We all got a little bit richer as a community. And so your vote does count to create for this country an alternative way that we have political leadership to drive community. So come and be a part of it. Don't moan about it after. Don't come and see me afterwards. Fill out your vote form and get it in, and you can be part of the legacy of the future of the Tairāwhiti.